Rishi Sunak says a Labour victory would make the UK the soft-touch migrant capital of the world. Rishi Sunak yesterday set out a nightmare vision of the disaster he warns will engulf Britain if Labour wins this week's election. The Prime Minister claims Sir Keir Starmer's party would unleash irreversible damage in its first 100 days in power. Mr Sunak predicted Labour would launch a salvo of tax rises, plunge schools into chaos and make Britain the soft-touch migrant capital of the world. His apocalyptic description of life under Labour comes as polling signals the Conservatives are heading for a catastrophic result in Thursday's election. Mr Sunak urged voters not to surrender control of Britain's taxes, border and security to the left-wing party. He said, "It's clear that Labour would do irreversible damage within just 100 days of coming to power. Whether it's announcing a suite of tax rises or throwing thousands of families' plans for the autumn term into chaos with children wondering if they will have a desk at school to go back to. Labour would throw open our borders with their illegal migrant amnesty and free movement for under-30s in their deal with the EU, making us the soft-touch migrant capital of the world. They cannot be trusted. We must not surrender our taxes, our borders and our security to them." Mr Sunak made the case for giving the Tories a new mandate to govern the country. He said, "Only the Conservatives will deliver tax cuts, a growing economy and a brighter, more secure future for everyone." But Sir Keir told the Sunday Express it is time to bring the curtain down on the Tory era of government. He said, "The public are rightly appalled by the running series of scandals and self-interest this Conservative government has overseen. Politics should be about service, not psychodrama." And Pat McFadden, Labour's national campaign coordinator, warned chaos will continue if the Tories get back for another term. He said, if they won another 5 years, they'd think they could get away with anything. Home Secretary James cleverly warned that Labour is committed to scrapping the scheme to send illegal migrants to Rwanda, and this would encourage more people to try and cross the channel in small boats. He said, "A vote for Labour is a vote to stop flights and invite the boats." In a direct message for Sunday Express readers, the Prime Minister set out his vision for how he can change Britain in the next half-decade. He said, "By the end of the next Parliament, I believe we can have our economy growing strongly, taxes cut, our borders secured, our security bolstered by our historic defence investment and the NHS recovered from the pandemic and providing the reliable care people need." Pollsters We Think last week said Labour is on course to win 465 seats with the Conservatives taking just 76. Their research lays bare the public's biggest fears about Sir Keir and Mr Sunak winning a mandate to lead the country. Nearly 4 out of 10 voters, 37%, say they are worried Sir Keir would increase taxes. The second biggest fear, shared by 3 out of 10 British adults, is that he would not be able to stand up to the hard left. A quarter expressed concern at his intention to scrap the Rwanda scheme. 1 in 4 were worried that he has no ministerial experience. And 1 in 5 were concerned the Labour leader would negotiate a closer relationship with Brussels. When it comes to Mr Sunak, nearly half, 49%, worry he would fail to bring down NHS waiting lists. Almost 4 out of 10, 37%, are concerned his party has run out of steam, and 1/3 fears that if he continues as Prime Minister he will make deep cuts to benefits. Nearly as many, 32%, are worried his Rwanda plan is unworkable. There are concerns that neither of the two main parties have been honest about difficult decisions that may have to be taken after polling day. Nearly half of the public do not think Labour has been honest about tax increases that may have to be made after the election, 48%. 46% did not believe the party has been candid about cuts to services or benefits. However, the polling makes even more difficult reading for the Conservatives. More than half do not think they have been honest about the cuts to immigration they expect to achieve, 57%, cuts to benefits, 56%, cuts to services, 55%, or tax increases, 54%.